Bam! Jayson Waller here, True Underdog Podcast, top 3 podcasts. Make sure you click the bottom link and subscribe now. I've got 2 awesome guests here today. They have revolutionized the cannabis industry. They are local heroes in Michigan. They played in the NFL. One of them is a recent inductee to the Hall of Fame. I've got my man Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, I'm super excited. This is an entrepreneur podcast, and I've had a lot of athletes on here. I was telling Calvin, Oscar De La Hoya, I've had Barry Sanders, and every one of the guys that have come on here own some kind of business or have gone into a different industry or put their name on something and have had some identity issues when they change from who they are as an athlete to now they got to go into the world and be like, what am I going to do next? I want to talk about your guys' friendship, how you guys met, and how you built this bond in the NFL before we get into your business. So I'll start with you, Rob. How did you and Calvin become really good friends?
So I was traded to Detroit in 2010. I think it was my first season. And, we had a great core of guys, not only Calvin, but Dominic Raiola, Matthew Stafford, guys that we felt like, over the next 4 or 5 years, we were going to be able to put together like something really great at Detroit. And we were able to do that. And, I think from Calvin, I just kind of gravitated towards him because of how humble he is. And we come from, similar backgrounds. Moms are both educators. Dads do their thing as well. And just, I saw so many similarities. And somebody, not only did I want to be lifelong friends with, but, obviously get into business with as well and continue our partnership.
Good. Calvin, what about you when you first met Rob?
Yeah, like Rob said, he came in about halfway through my career there in Detroit from Seattle. And instantly, Rob kind of took everybody in. It was almost like a serve the community kind of deal where he would bring everybody in, have his barber give everybody haircuts on Friday before the game, feed, whoever wants to come over. Just open door policy kind of deal, So much respect for that and how he just served the community. And then over time, that friendship evolved to us doing, things off the field, such as real estate and stuff.
Well, that excites me. So when you guys both left football, and congratulations to you, Calvin, getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's big time. It's hard for receivers their first time to really get inducted. It really is. It doesn't happen a lot. I thought that was a big deal. So congrats for that. But you guys have this business Primitiv, but that's not the first thing you guys have done together, right?
Correct.
Let's talk about what you did first when you guys left football or during football that you partnered on together.
So when I was getting ready to leave the league, there were obviously some things I was interested in, real estate being one of them. I became part of the franchisor for Remax of Southeastern Michigan, one of privately left territories, and the Remax brand left. And I had a crash course in business with that group. We did a mortgage play. We also turned around and did a title company. And then I started getting into just doing like real estate, residential real estate in Detroit. It was hot back then. And, Calvin was getting ready to, leave the league and retire. And, I had some opportunities and we partnered on and we did well. And it's kind of evolved since then.
So when it evolved, and this question's for you, Calvin, to get into the cannabis industry, a few years back, it was really frowned upon. It was like, what is that? I remember being in Vegas at the World Series of Poker, and that week they made it legal in Vegas. And I remember being in there like, what the heck is going on in here? They're like eating gummies at the tables and smoking. I wasn't used to it. It was surreal to me. But living in Michigan, and when they legalized marijuana in Michigan, and you guys saw an opportunity, talk about how that came to fruition with yourself and Rob.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's decriminalization, legalization. It happened back in 2008. We're still playing, it wasn't really focused at all, like you say, on cannabis because it was so stigmatized. It wasn't really a path forward really at the time in Michigan until recently when the opportunity was made. I guess you could say like the lay of the land was laid clear for everybody else to participate. And there's just opportunity. And that really came from, us just doing real estate. And that's where it just literally started, just from us doing real estate together. And, hey, there's this property here, we got opportunity here in this green zone, let's do something here. We're passionate about this. We believe in the healing powers of this. Let's put a team together.
Was there any pushback from friends, family, people that you guys knew in business that maybe prejudged you?
Of course. I mean, I'm from the Bible Belt. I'm from Georgia. I'm from the South. So, you got whether it's, friends or family that have been, arrested for maybe cannabis use or just having it. So obviously the stigma, we understand why the stigma is there. So, Mama Johnson, even my father, they were not, huge advocates of this until, you really educate them, and even now my mom will ask me for topicals, so, this is really just education. And I would say 5 years ago, my mom would never have done that. But yeah. I mean, it's a different day.
People evolve. What about you, Rob? A lot of pushback?
Yeah, it's not a pushback. People think, have I lost my mind? What am I getting myself into? My mom, things like that. Hey, you're doing so well in real estate. Your name is good. You don't want to do this. But, for me and what our vision has always been to change the stigma. And the only way to do that is to meet those questions and meet those fears of people kind of head on. And like Calvin is saying, now that we've done that and spent the last 2 or 3 years doing that, the people that we're saying, what are you doing, are the people that are asking, hey, how can I get a little closer to this? How can I get a topical? How can I do this? And, overall, the plan is working, to change the stigma. So we just keep on moving forward. And, now I welcome the conversation. I welcome folks to come and ask me about, why are you in this? Why are you doing it? Because it gets us to tell this authentic story, this authentic brand story. And I know if I get you talking about it, ultimately we can sell you on it.
You said something that resonates, I think, with a lot of entrepreneurs out there, successful ones. The difference between a buffalo and a cow is a cow runs from the storm, a buffalo runs through it. And you guys both really dealt with this head on. The stigma carried out there, and it still carries somewhat today. It's getting better, but you guys being athletes and a brand is who you are. I mean, your name is everything when you go out into the world after being a pro athlete. And I applaud you guys for not only turning naysayers into fans and supporters or people that want to be customers, but really, like you said, trying to fight that stigma and revolutionizing this. I mean, Calvin, you talked about a little bit in your Hall of Fame speech, which I thought was just so cool that you could do that, because you don't care what these people think. You care about what you guys are building together and the end dream there. You are facing that like a buffalo head on, right?
You got to. I mean, we're in it. We put our name to it, and only when with that has to come quality. I think that, there's a lot of people that lend their name in this industry to the things that are being done, but I mean, we're really here in it. We have an authentic story. We're athletes. We're just trying to find a better, more holistic way to heal ourselves with this medicine that has been here, which is why we call it primitive, because it's this medicine, this plant medicine that has been here for however long humanity has been using it, which over the last 100 years has been criminalized. And obviously we don't have the research that we need to have one now, because it's been a Schedule 1. And that's why other countries obviously are so far advanced beyond us. But, it's good that, it's in consideration, to decriminalize it and so that we can have more institutions put the technology to this primitive medicines like they do with the synthetic stuff, the oxys, the opioids and those things. So.
And those things aren't good for you. I mean, people are dying from opium and just stuff like that and Oxycontin. They're not dying from cannabis. So I would agree with you 100%. What about being partners? I mean, I've got a business partner, we are yin and yang, Batman and Robin. It's completely different, right? How different are you guys, and how does it gel in the business mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have differences. I think we have different triggers that we both, kind of perk up when we hear. But it is this, for me, it's almost seamless as we were kind of playing on the field, right? I'm always talking, pushing, trying to motivate. And then you got Kyle just kind of always making a really big play. It's very similar to our business is still similar to that. And I think, I think it's something to be said about, being in those moments together and playing together. that have just really translated to our business. And we take a lot of the same things that we would say back then, like keep stacking good days on top of good days. Now our team, they hear that from us because that is really our truth. And how do we create a winner? We got to keep stacking good days on top of good days. We got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Things that we hear football coaches say, we find ourselves saying in business. And I think, Mona's that, we've been trained a certain way, and we've been trained a certain, how to maneuver with each other on the field, and you do your job, I do my job. And, for me, it's just kind of fell right in just perfectly in business. Usually when he's thinking, I can kind of pick up on it and vice versa. And, I think it's something to be said about other players having the opportunity to join us, because it is the same. It's a culture that we've already been accustomed to, and we just keep pushing it forward, and then good things are going to happen for us.
Rob hit it on the head there. I mean, he said it just like when we had a team in football, we all have a common goal, and in here and what we're doing with the Primitiv, we have a common goal. And even if we don't, we might not see eye to eye on every single thing, but most of the time that we do, it's easy to get each other, like whether if I'm not on the same page with Robert, he's not on the same page with me, it's easy for us to find what's best for the company because we have a common goal. We have a vision, we have a mission, and everything, all the decisions that we make need to fall within that. So, that allows us to keep in line and allows us to keep moving forward, like you say, with that common goal, and that's just success for our company.
So you mentioned you have a mission and vision, and I believe that, all business owners, you guys included, you have small goals, like taking the steps. There's no elevator in life. There's no elevator in business. You have your small goals, and then you have your large goals. Let's talk about the next 3, 6, 9 months. What does that look like for Primitiv? And then what does it look like in 5 years?
Wow. Well,
I'm trying to go deep, baby. Come on. It's what I do.
He's trying to get all, he's trying to get, we need an NDA, man.
No, my bad. Hey, if you don't want to
That's perfect. We've been building this solid for a long time. We got so many opportunities in front of us, and all of it is magnified by, the opportunities that Cal is having and with actually the Hall of Fame, and it's the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame, tonight, and there'll be no shortage of honors going forward. So I think for us, it's really just trying to keep up with that. We've got a great opportunity to showcase what we can do from a business perspective, and that's kind of running alongside of some of the accolades that Calvin is being able to grab right now, is being honored with, and I think. I think for us, it is really trying to bring some innovative products to the market over the next 3, 6, 9 months. I think it's us continuing to build out a quality team that is, from a culture perspective, is just really strong. You hear culture is everything in business now. Yep. Before it was the bottom line, but now it's culture. So really trying to build that. And, I think for us, just starting to spread out into other markets. We feel that we've worked really hard in Michigan to bring our brand to market and tell our story, and we think that we get successful. But it's time for the rest of the country and the rest of the world to get a taste of what we can do. And we're right around that. We're right around the corner for that. And like I said, I'm excited for the future. I've learned in business though that you can't microwave anything; that it takes time. And I feel like we've been in this eternal training camp, and just trying to get to like the first game of the regular season. I feel like that's kind of where our business has kind of been, but that's okay. We're used to going through the dog days and building and continue to go back to the drawing board. And, we're going to have something to show for it in the end. And more than that, we're going to be able to really help some people.
Calvin, anything you want to add on that?
No, you hit it on the head. This is a quality of life business for us, being able to help people.
So you guys mentioned maybe some other athletes involved, which I think is exciting. I envision, and I don't know where you guys are with that, but have you guys thought about maybe some CBD opportunities with some of the leagues or teams and what you could do, since you guys are athletes, big names, understand, what it's like to get hurt and need to heal and not have to take narcotics. Where is that at? Have you guys looked at like a B2B opportunity like that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy because, now that we're being a little bit more visible with everything that's been going on, we've been getting those calls from those teams that have just been inquiring, maybe not ready to press the button today, but just inquiring like, hey, I see you guys' brand. I see what you guys are trying to do. I think it's a very clean brand. And those conversations are, they can kind of ask us, hey, would you guys be interested in talking to us about that? Like, of course. That's what we're built for. And, we think we have a great story to tell them. We think we have a way and a brand that is clean enough that they can promote it. And, now it's really about just putting those pieces in place and making sure from a capability standpoint, infrastructure standpoint, that we have enough to be able to fit, to meet that demand. The one thing we never want to do is just run out and grab all these opportunities and we just can't do anything with them. So I think, gradually that will happen. We will continue to keep our nose clean, keep our brand clean. But when they're ready to do that, ready to press that button, but we are built for that. We are built to be able to help those folks transition into what legal cannabis and being able to help players looks like.
You said something I think that matters as well. You don't want to have to say no to them. You want to be able to capture every opportunity. And in sales, I feel like I'm a really good salesperson because I didn't finish high school. I didn't go to college, but I built 3 companies up because I can sell with the best of them. But you sounded just like a sales guy. Hey, I'm not going to let an opportunity slide by. I got to say yes. And the rule of thumb here for listeners and stuff is you never tell a potential customer no. It's always yes. Let me figure out what I got to do to make that happen. And it sounds like you guys are really evolving and changing to make sure that there's lots of opportunity in different avenues, right? Several states that you guys are wanting to get into now. Where did you guys come up with the name Primitiv?
It just kind of came to me, came to us. We're man of faith. So when Calvin talks about the product and the cannabis coming from the beginning of humanity, right? We always thought that it was put here. I always thought that it was put here to be able to help, along with the other 330,000 phytomedicines that are out there to help people, right? And I think some of the stuff that you'll see coming down the pipe in the next 5 or 10 years will really surprise you of what plants can do and what they've done from the beginning of time. So Primitiv was just really and I know I've sat in meetings with coaches all the time, and when you get too complicated, they always bring the KISS method in. And the KISS method is to keep it simple, stupid. So Primitiv is kind of our answer to keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it basic as we can. There's something that's already grown here that can help folks. Let's take that. We know it works. Let's research it, and let's get it to the masses with a real authentic story and a mission to be able to help those folks.
I see on the website, it says retail stores coming soon. Can you guys talk about that?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. We really do. I think lately it's really just been focused on our brand and really telling the story because we're getting a lot of national coverage right now. But there's some things that are going to start popping up here in Michigan that we're really excited about. Some retail opportunities down the line here. And, like I said, we've been building in silence and putting these little different pieces in place. So we're not going to, we can't say everything right now, but you'll know us. How about this? You'll know us when you see us. You'll be, oh, okay, I get it.
I love that. You're keeping it close to your chest. I love that. You can't share it. I get it. I get it. All right. Well, we're going to talk. Listen, a lot of listeners are going to be like, man, that's Calvin Johnson. That's Rob Sims on there. I appreciate their business, but I want them to understand that when you guys left the NFL and you guys have friends who have left and probably have identity issues now, would you agree? Like they're like, what do I do now? Right. That's a real big thing that happens. And, I'm friends with a couple players and I've seen it. Like Matt Prater's one of my best friends, right? I tell him all the time, we've got to get you involved in other stuff because that's all he relates himself to is a kicker in the NFL. And so, and it just happens. That's what you're used to every day. That's what you're labeled as. Everybody's screaming for you. And then one day they just really don't, unless you're Calvin or Barry, they'll still scream for you, especially in Michigan. But then you just don't become relevant anymore. How does this make you guys feel relevant? Because everybody wants to feel relevant, whether internally or externally. How does this make you guys feel relevant?
I think you're fighting the stigma, that everybody that's been, something that's been labeled, in the worst of ways, and you're sitting out there and you're taking it on, like you're saying, like that bull going through the storm, and you're just facing it up, but at the same time, you're just telling a story that's so authentic and just really, you can't. There's nothing greater than that, really. Especially in this industry right now, that's somebody that can just tell their truth and, have the platform to, help other people, obviously, helping people with cannabis and different products with that, but not other initiatives, like the Last Prisoner Project or the Detroit Homegrown Fund, being able to help social equity applicants, doing other things like that the state should be doing first, instead of us, but that's what we're here for. We've always been, men of faith and men that serve other people. So that's not going to stop, even though, we're in a new industry.
I love it. And you guys have such a great business, and you guys have that, that's so innocent. There's no agenda here. You believe in it. You can feel the passion. We got to talk a little bit of football before I end this. Calvin, I read a few times that, and I know you got injured a lot in the NFL, a lot of injuries. You just have to pretend aren't really there. You got to play the next game, right? That's just how it is. Did cannabis help you at all while you were in the NFL? And is that what kind of got you into this after the NFL?
For sure. It definitely helped. It definitely, helped with my belief that there is something to this. But it really wasn't until after my use of different applications of cannabinoids when I was like, okay, we got to get to the science of this. And if I get the opportunity to, we're going to do that. And, we got the opportunity here in Michigan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Rob, what about you?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. No. I was talking about injury. I'm sure you had some injuries while you were in the NFL. And did cannabis help you while you were in the NFL and help streamline of what you wanted to do post NFL?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2008, I tore my pec. I tore it right off the bone. And, I remember coming out of that surgery and they handed me 40 pills of oxycodone and just telling me I remember saying take when you have pain. And I just kept thinking in my mind, I'm 25 years old. I'm not even going to practice. I'm in Seattle by myself. This is probably not the best thing for me. This seems like the opposite of where I want to be right now. Just having the ability to take these pills and not have pain. So I was introduced to cannabis back then, and it's been a part of my life ever since. And I've actually started to transition that into other people in my family. My wife suffers from Crohn's disease, so we were able to use that to treat her. And we haven't had to use Humira or anything like that. And it's been going on 10 years that she's been dealing with that. So, the plan is just going to be a piece of our lives, period. For injuries that I'll have coming down the pipe and issues I'll have, neurocognitive disease, hopefully not, but and things that my wife and everybody else that I love around me, if they ask me for anything, it's going to be that. So cannabis is huge. It's been huge for us.
I was one of those people growing up that had that stigma, right? Of oh, you smoke weed? Yeah, I'm guilty as charged. That was me for a long time until 2017 when I was in Vegas and my wife used to take Xanax every time she had anxiety. When I mean she had anxiety, I mean she has the worst anxiety. We canceled more flights than we went on during our marriage, and that's a fact. And she just hated flying. She hated driving. She hated all those things. And when we were younger in school, she used to, use cannabis. And she didn't as an adult being married. And so I saw that it was legalized there. And I went over to one of the retail places and this lady educated me. I had no idea for about 2 hours. And so I bought a ton of it and shipped it, probably illegal, the United States Postal Service at the time, to my house and told my wife, you're not taking any more Xanax or, Klonopins or any of that jazz anymore. We're going to try this. And she tried it and it helped her a little bit, but her anxiety, she's gotten a lot better with over the years. But I bring this up because I'm a big believer in it, right? I personally don't use it. It makes me kind of like I love CBD oil, but cannabis just doesn't do well with me. But my daughter, who's 23, struggles with the same anxiety as my wife. And so she's got a medical card and she uses it. And I would rather her do that than go drink alcohol. I would rather her do that than take some kind of narcotics and stress and anxiety medication that's handmade. I'm a believer, but I was one of those that converted over by education. And you guys brought that up. You're just educating people of how this works to remove that stigma. So I wanted to share my story of like, I'm one of those people that over time evolved and said, whoa, this is like better than drinking. I mean, you're allowing people to go drink alcohol. You need to allow them to do this, especially for pain, anxiety, different kind of diseases to heal faster. Like it's a game changer. So I would agree with you. And I wanted to share that story out there. Before we wrap up, let's talk about, the Detroit Lions, right? And, I was there at the Hall of Fame induction there when Martha Ford Hemp came out, and everybody was cheering for you, Calvin, like there was no tomorrow, and everybody was booing the owner. The city of Detroit, the fans of the Lions are upset that you guys really haven't mended ways. Hopefully you guys will soon. But is there any enlightenment you could see? You guys think you'll eventually cross that bridge?
I would hope so. Yeah. I would hope so, especially, I mean, the way the fans reacted, I would hope that there would be something that we can get done.
I think the fans have heard you in the past. Obviously, it was shown there at the thing. I was like, what are they booing? And then I saw, I'm like, oh, they're booing her. Oh, I get it now. So it took a minute to register. Rob and Calvin, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
We go, Steph. We go, man. Rooting for you, bro.
I'm going to LA. I want LA to get one.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford get one?
Yeah, he's playing great, man. I've been texting him, after the game, I'm some coach, like I'm Rock from Rudy. Like, good job, man. Just really, he just looks so free to me, and I'm just so happy to see the freedom that he has out there playing the game. And it's tough to win in Detroit for a number of reasons. A lot of them just because it's, we're always kind of playing from behind, and we've got a lot of issues with the refs and all that stuff. But what he's doing now, man, is what we always saw in him, and just the freedom that he has right now to go play. So I'm rooting for him to go get one.
Calvin, same for you.
Same for me. I said there was a moment in that first game where, I saw something, I don't know if it was a penalty or whatever, and I saw it like a look on Matthew's face. It was like, oh, like, man, it never would have went down like that in Detroit. Like, like Rob said, just a sense of freedom, so.
Detroit versus everybody, right? That's legit, right?
That's legit.
That is legit. I've seen it firsthand watching and paying attention for years. What about leadership in the locker room? And you guys have leadership in your business, right? You guys are partners and one takes the lead on something. Someone says leadership in the locker room is so important. And I think you mentioned Dominique Raiola. I think when Dominique Raiola left that team, my understanding is that was a very big vocal leader for that team, correct?
Very, very big.
Indeed.
How important is it? Because I think Matthew Stafford's one of the most talented arms we'll ever see. And I've met him. I've hung out with him a few times, and Kelly, he's just not a let's go troops, we're going to war guy. Mm-hmm. But him having someone like McVay get him the guidelines that he needs and having someone like Aaron Donald on that team, where are the Lions going to be for a vocal leader? Because it's been years since they've had one. Do you see anybody that's got the potential to be one on that team?
I'm not around the team as much as I want to be or wish I could be. I do think overall Dan Campbell is a very vocal person and can be a player's coach. And I hope the best for him. I feel like the GM Brad Holmes is an absolute rock star and can bring some talent in over time. He's going to need a little bit of time to do that, but he can do that. But Detroit has always had, and that's why I fell in love with Detroit. Why I probably still live here. Guys like Dominic Raiola made me love to be a Lion, win or lose. I just love to be here and love to be in the fight and be in that foxhole with him, so to speak. And they got to find that because it's a big part of their identity, whether you be successful or not. You've got to have that guy. And it was, when I had an opportunity to come back and play my 10th season with the Lions, even though I was extremely beat up, I still had an opportunity, but I really couldn't see playing another season without Dom. So And I think that's the bond that we had of those teams, that those 11, 12, 13, and 14, between me and Kyle, me and Dominic and Kyle, and me and Matthew and Kyle, and Sue and Tulloch and all those guys, I think is what Detroit needs from a character standpoint to actually win it. Yeah. And we need a little luck too. But that's where we got to start. We got to have those vocal folks in the room, and they'll find them. They just gotta, be on the hunt for them.
Yeah, I think you need a vocal leader in anything you do, business, sports, it doesn't matter. How can the folks find your guys' business? We're going to put all the links below, but give them the website. Tell them a little, a 30-second commercial about your guys' business, what's to come, so they can definitely find you guys and be a part of that.
I mean, you can find the Primitiv product on the suppliers near you. I guess that's the best way to say it. But you can check our website out. It is Primitiv.
Calvin, you got to show the shirt off a little bit, baby.
Yeah, follow us at Primitiv_group. At Primitiv Group. Yeah.
Chet, you were showing me something earlier you liked. What was that? You had some of the Primitiv stuff right there. You got that?
Oh, yeah. It's just a little.
There you go.
Just a little,
There you go.
Set up.
We got a lot of prototypes.
A lot of cool prototypes running around here, man.
So you guys let me know if you ever have some solar cannabis stuff going on. I know I came and talked to you a little bit about solar, Rob, but I'm talking about like if you get something cool that maybe you can like solar panels can light it up or something. I don't know.
Yeah. There's opportunities. It'll be coming down the pipe for sure.
Hey, well, I appreciate you guys coming over here on the show. I know the listeners will love this, and congrats on your guys' business and future success. Appreciate you guys, and that's a wrap here on True Underdog. Bam. That concludes another episode here on True Underdog. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the YouTube channel. You can always visit TrueUnderdog.com, subscribe to all of them. Make sure you check out our newest episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. True Underdog, baby. Bam!